This is me on my first 512 on lead, and I've been climbing for less than a year. I started climbing in March of 2025. I don't consider myself a natural, but I have learned a few things that have helped me progress a lot faster than I've expected. So if you're stuck in that 5'9 to 5'11 grade range, I'm going to show you some things in this video that are going to help bump you up the bracket. When I started climbing, I thought meant progress meant trying harder routes every session, and while that is true and there is some merit to that, it's not the entire truth. I would climb something at my limit, get pumped, fall, and then I would just tell myself that I'm just either not tall enough or just not strong enough. And really, the problem was I was just pumping out way too early. My technique was being sloppy, and I just wasn't learning anything from climb to climb. Once I stopped chasing grades and just started focusing on how I was climbing, that's when things really started to change. With that being said, I'm going to share with you 3 things that really changed my climbing for the better. The first thing would be climbing below my max. This is probably the biggest shift that I made, which was spending more time on routes that just flat out felt easier. Instead of trying to get to the top, I would start to focus on my breathing, focus on quiet and precise foot placement, and just staying relaxed throughout the entire climb. I started to treat these climbs like practice instead of exams, and allowed that efficiency that I developed to carry over into the harder climbs, and I would stop getting pumped early on. I also stopped trying to fix everything at once. I'd pick one thing like foot placement, breathing, finding rest positions, and I would focus on that for the entire session. In this clip, I was reaching out to this big slope, but there's 2 ways I could do this. I could overexert myself, or I could do this in a way that supports my body and frame. In this first attempt, I step out onto the jib, and I grab the underside of the next hold. I step onto the other jib, and now I have to commit my weight to the hold, forcing me to fight this barn door. While this technique did work, I run the risk of gassing myself out before I get to finish the route. Instead, what I want to do is leverage my body position and my hip flexibility. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mini dyno out to the second hold, get this high heel up, and then walk my foot over to that outer jib. This gives me a perfect position to leverage this rest and prepare myself mentally and physically for the final push of the route. It's little things like this that can add up and can make the difference between sending a route and failing it. The last thing I want to mention is doing off-the-wall training that supports climbing. I didn't get stronger by doing random workouts. I had to focus my training on doing movements that directly supports my climbing. So today, for example, I did some scapular pulls like you see here to help me better control my back. I also worked on some core tension exercises for my abs. And then I also did some wrist work to help with my mobility, overall comfortability, and strength in my wrist and elbows. You don't need to do anything fancy, you just need to be doing some movements that are repeatable and directly support your climbing, or doing movements that are helping you recover better. Either way, both of those things are going to be good for you. Just remember that it's not about maxing out every session or doing random workouts or just assuming strength is the problem. Sometimes it's just about having some intention and direction in your training sessions. Now, if you want some more help applying some of these concepts to your own training or maybe climbing projects that you're working on, feel free to join the Discord. It's called Project Dyno. I'm going to leave the link to that in the description. And that's going to be a place where you can ask questions, share beta, and just have me help you work on things that you may be projecting. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.